Virgo, something is happening to you right now and no one around you can explain it. You're sensing shifts. You're waking up at odd hours. You're feeling like something big is just around the corner. But you can't put your finger on it. This isn't anxiety. This isn't a phase. This is a divine summons, and the reason you're watching this is because your soul already knows. People think you're just overthinking. But what they don't see is that your entire nervous system has been preparing for something that hasn't happened yet. But it's close. Really close. You've been having strange dreams. Moments of deja vu. Sudden urges to say no to things that used to feel safe. That's not confusion. That's activation. You're not falling apart. You're waking up. And you're not the only one. Across the world, Virgos are experiencing the same exact thing. Patterns are breaking. Old routines are falling apart. And a silent voice keeps whispering, something is about to change. You've felt it, haven't you? That restless energy, that strange pull, that sudden desire to walk away from. Let me be clear, this is not the beginning of a breakdown. It's the beginning of a breakthrough. But only if you pay attention. Because right now, the universe is rearranging your life in ways that might not make sense, but are leading to something massive. And if you miss the signs, if you go back to sleep now, you've been feeling like you don't belong in the places that once felt familiar. People you used to feel close to now feel distant. Things that used to excite you now feel draining. That's not you changing randomly, that's you upgrading spiritually. The environments that once held you are now too small for your soul. You're not broken. You're evolving. You're not lost. Even your body knows. That sudden tightness in your chest when you ignore your intuition. That's not stress, it's your spirit yelling through your skin. That chill you feel at 3 a.m., that's not just poor sleep. That's a portal. A sacred window when your guides are closest. You don't have to believe in signs to be called. And right now, the calling is louder than ever. This moment, this video, this message, it didn't find you by accident. It's a divine appointment. And whether you're ready or not, the shift has already begun. The only question is, will you move with it? So stay with me. Don't scroll, don't click away. What I'm about to share with you will confirm everything you've been quietly sensing but couldn't explain. And once you hear it, you'll never... This isn't just a message, it's a map. And if your soul has been whispering that your time is finally here, it's because it is. Virgo, let's talk about something that's been eating at you for years, maybe even decades. That deep ache that no one really talks about. The truth is, you've spent your whole life doing everything right. You show up, you plan, you take care of everyone around you. You fix things before they fall apart. And yet, somehow, you're the one people forget to thank. You're the one who stays late, who works behind the scenes, who listens when no one else will. And while people might lean on you, they don't always see you. You've been conditioned, maybe by family, maybe by society, to believe that your worth is tied to how helpful you are, that your role is to support others, not to shine. Somewhere along the way, you internalized the belief that being humble meant being invisible, that asking for more made you selfish, that having needs was a weakness. So you kept giving and giving and giving, until one day, you looked around and realized everyone else is being celebrated. Let me be real with you. That pattern, it's not serving you anymore. It's breaking you down. You've spent so long in the role of caretaker, fixer, and organizer that you've forgotten you were never meant to be a background character. That pressure you feel in your chest, that frustration that bubbles up when someone takes you for granted again, isn't you being difficult. It's your soul saying enough. Enough of shrinking. Enough of being silent. Enough of putting your own dream. And here's the hard part, because you're so good at what you do. People don't even realize how much you carry. But I see it. And more importantly, God sees it. The quiet tears you've cried at night, the times you bit your tongue to keep the peace, the moments you celebrated others even when no one celebrated you. None of that has been in vain. Every unseen sacrifice has been written into your destiny. You were never meant to live small. You were never meant to just survive. You were created to lead, to elevate, to be the calm in the storm, but not at the cost of your own peace. This moment, right now, is your wake-up call. Not to abandon your nature, but to stop letting the world abuse it. Your empathy, your insight, your ability to hold space for others, they're not tools for your own erasure. They are the very qualities that will carry you into a life where you are seen, heard, and celebrated. It's not too late. You haven't missed it. In fact, you're right on time. And the next chapter, it starts with you deciding that you are worthy of being supported too. Now, Virgo, let's talk about something no one ever told you, but it changes everything. You've been carrying this belief that your perfectionism is a flaw, that your attention to detail is a burden. Maybe you've been told you're too intense, too controlling, too much. So you tried to dial it down. You tried to be more easygoing, to ignore the little things that bothered you. But it never worked, did it? Because deep down, those traits aren't mistakes. They're messages, and you were never meant to mute them. That thing inside you, the need to fix, to improve, to organize, to perfect, it's not an obsession. It's divine programming. You were literally wired to see what others miss. You walk into a room and your eyes catch the imbalance before anyone else notices it. You sense when something is off in someone's energy, even if they haven't said a word. You notice the smallest inconsistencies, the cracks in the foundation, the patterns no one else even realizes are there. That's not anxiety, that's spiritual intelligence. It's a gift. You're not neurotic, you're attuned. You've been entrusted with a level of clarity and discernment that not many people can handle. And yes, it makes life harder sometimes. It makes it harder to relax, harder to trust, harder to delegate. But that's not because you're flawed, it's because you're built to lead, built to steward excellence, built to be the one who brings order to chaos. Think about it. You're the friend people call when their life is a mess. You're the one who remembers the details no one else pays attention to. When something breaks, you're the first to figure out how to fix it. You don't wait around hoping someone else will take care of things. You step in. That's not overfunctioning. That's leadership in motion. Let me put it this way. If the world is a symphony, you're the one who hears when an instrument is out of tune. If life is a building, you're the one who notices the hairline cracks before the whole thing collapses. That's not annoying. That's essential. That's divine training. And God has been using every moment of your life to sharpen those senses, not to torment you, but to prepare you. Because what's coming for you isn't small. It's not a little raise or a tiny shift in direction. What's coming is a total elevation, a mission that requires you to see clearly, act precisely, and lead with grace. You're not just being prepared to have more, you're being prepared to handle more, impact more, influence more, and that requires excellence at a level. So if you've ever felt like you're too much, know this, you're exactly right. Not in the way they meant it, but in the way God designed it. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to refine, to uplift, to realign everything around you with divine order. That's the truth they never told you. But now that you know, everything changes. Virgo, this is where everything starts to shift. This is the part of your journey where the pressure that's been building inside you finally begins to make sense. You see, every time you felt frustrated, overlooked, or drained, it wasn't random. It was preparation. It was heat applied to refine gold, and now the gold is ready to be revealed. Let me tell you a story. There was a Virgo woman I worked with who had spent years sacrificing her own dreams for the sake of her family. She was always there, every appointment, every birthday, every emergency. She worked 2 jobs, balanced everyone's emotions, kept the house spotless, and never missed a beat. But deep down, she felt invisible, like a ghost in her own life. Then one day, out of nowhere, she said no. She declined a 3rd job offer that promised more money but no peace. And in that quiet no, her entire energy shifted. Within weeks, doors opened, ones she didn't even knock on. She found herself being offered leadership roles, new connections, and most of all, a deep sense of alignment. Not because she hustled harder, but because she finally aligned with her work. That's what's happening for you now. You are no longer being asked to prove your goodness by how much you sacrifice. You are being invited to lead with self-respect. Because here's the truth, people have benefited from your fear of disappointing them. They've gotten used to you always saying yes, always showing up, always filling in the cracks. And now, as you start to say no when it doesn't serve your peace, when it costs you your dignity, they'll resist. Some may even guilt you. But their resistance is not your responsibility. It's their discomfort with your growth. You're not here to be everything for everyone. You're here to become everything you were meant to be. And that requires boundaries. It requires clarity. It requires you to stop explaining your worth and start embodying it. Because when you do, something beautiful happens. Your energy changes. You stop attracting people who want to take, and you start drawing in those who want to pour into you. You stop feeling exhausted by relationships, and you start feeling energized. You stop questioning your role in every room, and you start commanding the space you walk into. This next season of your life is about elevation, not hustle, not proving, not perfection elevation. But elevation always begins with separation. And that's the hard part. You might feel called to distance yourself from people who once felt like family. You might outgrow environments that once felt safe. And you may even have to let go of old versions of yourself, like the version that never asked for help. Or the version, but trust me when I say this, everything you release creates space for what's truly meant for you. And what's meant for you will never require you to betray yourself to keep. Virgo, your heart is too pure to keep giving it to people who don't value it. Your gifts are too powerful to keep hiding them behind humility. Your time is too precious to keep spending it fixing other people's messes while ignoring your own dreams. You've reached a moment of divine decision. Will you keep shrinking to fit into spaces that no longer honor you? Or will you finally expand into the life that, because once you decide, once you say out loud or even just in your soul that you're done living small, everything starts moving. The universe responds, people shift, opportunities accelerate, peace replaces pressure. But it starts with you, not waiting for someone to give you permission, not hoping someone will finally see your value, but you seeing it first. So here's your invitation. Let this be the moment you remember your power. Let this be the line in the sand. You've prepared long enough. You've given more than enough. Now it's time to receive, not as a reward, but as a realignment. Not as you were never meant to live at half capacity. You were always meant to be the full expression of everything you are. And that begins now. Virgo, now that the shift has begun, you're going to start noticing things subtle at first, but powerful if you're paying attention. You'll wake up one day and realize the tension in your chest is gone. That constant tightness that used to show up every Monday morning. Every time you walked into a space that didn't honor you, it'll start to fade. And you won't even notice it at first. You'll just breathe easier, feel lighter, more grounded in yourself. That's not coincidence, that's alignment. You'll see little doors opening. Conversations that used to drain you will suddenly end on their own. People who used to demand your energy will fall silent, not because you pushed them away, but because your energy shifted. Your frequency changed. You're no longer broadcasting availability to chaos, and people who thrive on chaos can't find you anymore. Instead, you'll start attracting something different, invitations that feel aligned. People who actually listen when you speak, opportunities that don't feel like hustle, they feel like flow. You won't have to beg to be seen anymore. You'll be chosen, not because you're performing or proving, but because your energy is. Let me give you an example. A Virgo man I worked with spent years applying for jobs that paid just enough to get by. He was smart, talented, reliable, but he never asked for more. One day, after doing deep internal work, he applied for a job way outside his comfort zone, not because he felt 100% ready, but because he finally believed he deserved it. He got the job. And not just that, his new manager told him she'd been looking for someone exactly like him for months. The shift wasn't just in the resume, it was in. That's what's happening for you. You're stepping into spaces where you're not just tolerated, you're treasured. You'll find yourself walking into rooms and feeling seen before you even speak. The respect you used to beg for is now given freely. The support you always offered others finally returns to you. And the dreams you shelved for later, they'll start calling to you again. But this time, you'll have the resources and the readiness to answer. But don't be surprised if this season comes with a few tests. The universe loves to check in. Are you really ready? Are you going to shrink when someone questions your worth? Are you going to downplay your gifts to keep someone else comfortable? Or are you going to stand firm in your new identity, even when it feels unfamiliar? You see, real change isn't about things around you shifting. It's about how you respond when they do. When someone finally offers you the stage, will you step up and own it? When peace replaces pressure, will you allow it in? When love that's healthy and reciprocal shows up, will you believe you're worthy? This is your moment to not just notice the change, but to claim it, to embody it, to let it show in how you speak, how you walk, how you set boundaries, how you dream again. Because this new reality isn't luck. It's not random. It's the result of you finally saying yes to yourself. And the world is simply responding in kind. If you're watching this in a moment when you feel like you're barely holding on, this is for you. Maybe you've been trying so hard to stay strong for everyone else, to keep showing up with a smile, to pretend everything's fine when inside you feel like you're drowning in silence. But listen closely, the moment right before the breakthrough always feels like the heaviest. The universe isn't punishing you, it's positioning you. The pressure you feel right now is not a sign of failure. It's the final contraction before the rebirth. You are not breaking. You are opening. And if you feel like letting go, don't let go of hope, let go of the lie that you have to carry it all alone. Because you're not alone. And right here, right now, a shift is beginning. Not in the future, not someday, but now. And you're ready because your soul. Virgo, now that you're stepping into this new energy, there's something important you need to be aware of. As the blessings start flowing in, so will the distractions. That's just how it works. Every time you ascend to a higher level, there will be forces, sometimes subtle, sometimes loud, trying to pull you back into old versions of yourself. Don't take it personally. Take it as confirmation that you're moving. You might notice old relationships popping up. People from your past reaching out with smiles and apologies. But don't be fooled. Not every apology is sincere. Not every reconnection is divine. Some of these people are not returning because they've changed. They're returning because they feel the change in you and they want access to it. Access to your peace, your clarity, your glow. But they haven't done the work to earn a place in this new chapter. You've spent too long cleaning up after others. Virgo. Too long making excuses for their behavior. Too long sacrificing your peace just to keep the connection. But now you know better. You know what it costs you to stay in places that no longer fit. You know what it feels like to betray your intuition just to avoid conflict. And more than that, you know the difference between being needed and being valued. So this part of your journey will require courage. The courage to say no without guilt, to walk away without closure, to hold your boundaries even when your heart feels soft. And here's the thing, people will test you. Some will get upset. Some will try to guilt you. Some may even say you've changed. And guess what you have? That's the whole point. You're not who you used to be. You're evolving. And anyone who can't respect that doesn't get a front row seat to the next part of your life. You'll also be tested in opportunities. Not every open door is meant to be walked through. Some doors are just distractions dressed up as blessings. Maybe it's a job that pays well but drains your soul, or a relationship that looks good on paper but makes you feel small in private. These tests will show up to see if you've really learned the lesson. Will you take what's easy, or will you wait for what aligns? One of the hardest parts of transformation is letting go of what's familiar, even when familiar has hurt you. But if you want something different, you have to choose differently. This is the season where you become your own gatekeeper, where you stop letting everyone in just because they knock, where you stop explaining yourself just to make others comfortable. You are no longer a host in someone else's story. Let me remind you of this. You don't owe access to people who had chances and wasted them. You don't owe explanations to those who never truly listened. And you definitely don't owe your light to anyone who only showed up when it was convenient for them. This is your moment to protect your peace with the same intensity you once protected other people's comfort. Because you've learned that protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's sacred. And when you honor that, the universe starts honoring you in ways you never imagined. With real love, with divine partnerships, with opportunity. So as you rise, stay grounded. As you receive, stay discerning. As you shine, stay protected. Because what's coming for you is too valuable to be shared with people who still treat your worth like it's negotiable. Virgo, this is it. The part where everything starts clicking into place, not because someone gave you permission, but because you finally gave it to yourself. You're not chasing approval anymore. You're not begging to be seen. You're no longer shrinking so others can feel taller around you. You're standing in your truth. And here's the most beautiful part, you're doing it without resentment, without bitterness. You're not rising to prove anyone wrong. You're rising because it's your time, because your energy, your wisdom, your compassion, they deserve a stage. They deserve a platform. And now, but let's be clear, this isn't a fantasy. This isn't some distant dream you have to earn by working yourself to exhaustion. This is a reality that's been waiting for you to say yes. And when you say yes, when you align your daily choices with the version of you that's already whole, already worthy, you'll be amazed at how quickly things shift. Things won't feel forced anymore. The doors that were once locked will begin to open on their own. People will feel drawn to your presence, not because you're trying to impress, but because you're finally embodying who you really are. There's a quiet magnetism that comes with self-trust, and Virgo, you're stepping into that fully now. Let me tell you something you might need to hear again. You are not behind. You haven't missed your chance. The timeline was never off. It was preparing you. All the waiting, all the struggle, all the heartbreak was building muscle in your spirit. And now, you're strong enough to hold what's coming. So here's what I want you to do right now. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I ready to receive all that I've been preparing for? Am I ready to stop surviving and start thriving? Am I ready to be seen, supported, and celebrated? Because this isn't about waiting anymore. This is about stepping forward, boldly, softly, honestly, with your head high and your heart open. And if something inside you is screaming yes, then drop a comment below and share it. Speak it out loud. Claim it in writing. Let your words become the key that unlocks the next chapter. Tell us the sign you've received. Was it a number, a dream, a conversation that hit different? Because when you speak it, you activate it, and your courage helps another Virgo do the same. Virgo, your extraordinary life is not a possibility, it's a promise, and it's already on the way. So, as you move forward, let this be your declaration. You are not returning to the old version of yourself. You are claiming your space, your worth, your divine timeline. And if you ever forget how far you've come back to this message, because this is the moment your Virgo life transformation began. This is the shift that aligns with your true spiritual Virgo path. And from this day on, you walk in the reality of the Now go, not with fear, but with fire. Your time